Hello, this is Robert Smith. I'm in Torrevieja, Spain, and I received messages from Marie asking about how you deal with fetishes. And since we have the Heal Your Sexual Self coming up in Belfast, September the 7th through the 12th, I thought I'd explain how fetishes work and what are fetishes. And fetishes are interesting programs, and understanding the connections of how the mind works and how we create desires or what excites us or even turns us on. You can use the understanding that how the mind works, and it creates associations. For example, some people have chocolate fetishes. I mean, they just love chocolate. Chocolate makes them feel love and really exciting. But yet chocolate's just chocolate for other people. And so I don't understand the question, how do you deal with fetishes? And it depends on if it's your fetish or their fetish. Now, if you're bothered by someone else's fetish, then that's a different program that you have to address, rather than if you have your own fetish, because usually if you have a fetish, you're not very likely wanting to get rid of it because it satisfies and gives you something. So let's say, for example, you have a fetish, and of course usually if you have a fetish, it means you like it, you enjoy it, it gives you pleasure. But the only time that anybody would seek help to solve a fetish problem is you have to look at where the problem is with the fetish. Like some fetishes, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking about, but some fetishes will have what you call negative fallback, which means because of it, you have problems. You know, like you could feel guilty, shameful, could leave you in a position, in a place that makes you feel horrible, guilty, dirty, bad. Then that's one area to address in a fetish. So you have to really, fetishes are installed by emotional associations, or two things are linked together as one, acting like one, which means love and chocolate, for example. There is no love in chocolate. You can read the ingredients, there's not in there. So the meaning comes from you, and it's associated and created at an unconscious level. Oftentimes you don't even understand why and how you have the love for chocolate, or it excites you, it turns you on. And it's because somewhere in your life chocolate was given to you by someone, and while you are giving chocolate or eating chocolate and experiencing chocolate, there's an association with pleasure or love or whatever it is that you do with it. And it's the same way with fetishes. So fetishes have its programming, it has its connections, and it has its feel-goods. Now the problem is, with like any other fetish, is that you will could have what you call the negative fallback, which means, especially if you're dealing with sexual fetishes, there's a lifestyle could be involved with it, or there could be the guilt, the anger, the shame, the abuse, or whatever's involved with it. Because we're talking fetishes, it could be a billion of them. It could be the fetishes of heels, watching people wear high heels, or fetishes of other things, and only you can imagine what that could be. And then there's excitement about it. But why do we have fetishes? It's very simple. There's connections. There's unconscious connections. In order to change this is go into that connection and release it. Say, for example, chocolate. Now, why do people feel love with chocolate? I've worked with severe chocolate addictions, which is, there's no difference in a sexual addiction or a fetish and a chocolate addiction. The program is the same, but there's more intensity depending on what it is. And so the perfect example, a lady who she loves chocolate. I mean, matter of fact, they can't have chocolate in the house, because if there was chocolate in the house, she would be there eating it all completely. The problem is that she had children, and the children would get gifts, Thanksgiving, or not Thanksgiving, but Halloween or Easter candy, and the children actually had to hide it. And she'd wake up in the middle of the night, flashlight in hand, crawling around the room looking for their chocolate. Now, this is an extreme case. Now, what I did is I had her come up front in the seminar and I addressed her chocolate addiction. Of course, with FasterEFT, we have what you call the art of change. The art of change helps us elicit the strategy of how we create or how we express and manifest our problems. So basically how it happened was basically she had a positive experience with chocolate. Somebody had given her chocolate. She's eating chocolate, feeling good. And then she had won a trip to Europe. Now she's never been away from home. It's her first time away from home, and she's away from home for a long time. And it was on like a field trip. And she was feeling very sad and very lonely, and she discovered Belgian chocolate, Swiss chocolate. And so she would eat obsessively the chocolate, feeling wonderful and feeling good. All of a sudden, her mind's putting this connection together. Now she's controlled by chocolate. Now chocolate controls her, and she acts in ways that hurts and harms herself. So basically all we did is we just removed the connection, which is whatever it was that was associated. Now in her life, there's no battle, no struggle. Chocolate could be on the kitchen table. The kids can get chocolate, and she doesn't have the strong desire to eat it all. All right, so now she can eat chocolate. It's not that we're taking it away from her, but now there's not that emotional torment of chocolate. All right, that's one model. All right, let's say, for example, you're in a relationship with somebody and they have a fetish, and you have to perform and act and wear or do whatever it is that you do. Now, this is where your problem is compared to their problem. And so then you're going to have to address your own specific issues about being whatever it is that you're being, you know. Now, the interesting thing is, too, is like in the sexual arena, because you know we're introduced to sex somewhere, you know, some age, somewhere. You know, of course, always at first it doesn't feel good, or it could, and then over a period of time you develop what you call a desire for it, or not a desire for it, because you keep repeating the emotional system of whatever you're operating from. So each of these are connections inside the unconscious, and what you need to do is understand how the mind works, and that's what FasterEFT teaches: how your mind works, how to get in and change it, and also how to rewrite the story to get what you'd rather have. And I think that's what people want, something better. And of course, you know, as I said, we have a seminar coming up in Belfast, and Belfast is a great city, first of all. Secondly, we're going to be at the Europa Hotel. But the seminar is a 6-day seminar. There's 2 different seminars actually in one. The first part is actually there's training, 2 days of training, and I'll teach how to go in and find those connections, how to deal with the invisible, the unknown memories that we don't know about, but it is driving our behavior and we're acting in ways that we don't want to act, and how to get in there and clean that up. Of course, we use FasterEFT. And then the second part of it, anybody can come to either one. The first part is training, and the second part is it's really cheap. It's very reasonable. It's approximately it's $4.99 US, which is about 300 pounds UK, and it's 4 days of tapping. That means I'll be up front. I'll do a little instruction, explain what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and how to work on yourself, and then I'll do tapping for 4 days. That means people will volunteer, we'll address your stuff, we'll address your emotions, we'll address whatever your issues are, which deals with relationships, which also deals with sex, and it also deals with your body, or your fetishes, or your relationships. I said relationships, your sexual issues, impotence, didn't want to have sex, or vaginismus, or anything else that you may have in and around this arena. And then it'd be a great experience, as always is, because we, you know, there's a family of friends and community with FasterEFT, and also there'll be practitioners who'll be on hand who will also help you as well. So do pack your bags, come to Belfast. It'll be a great seminar, something you'll never have ever experienced like this, because first of all, it's not only we're effective, but we're also very open, honest, direct. I did one this year in Las Vegas, and it was pretty interesting, pretty exciting too. We had a lot of fun, and when I say fun, a lot of healing, a lot of changes, and a community of helping each other. And so this is Robert Smith. I'm here in Spain, and do come and see us at Belfast, September the 7th through the 12th. And make sure when you do call, if you want to book a hotel there in Europa, call the hotel and tell them you're here for FasterEFT, because if you don't, there will be no rooms available, because we've got them pretty well reserved, and also there's other events. So this is Robert Smith. See you in Belfast.